Use just these two simple words and she will begin to crave you in a powerful way. Female psychology makes this clear. If you have ever felt like you were doing everything right and still the connection suddenly turned cold, understand something important. It is not always your fault. Most men were never shown how the female mind truly processes attraction and emotional safety. Women developed with a very sharp social awareness. It works almost like radar. We notice tiny facial movements, small changes in tone, and even short pauses in conversation before you realize they happened. This happens fast, faster than logic. When something feels slightly off, even in a subtle way, the body reacts before the mind explains it. Many men struggle because they are performing instead of being real. They follow scripts in their head. They try to control every word. They try to manage how they appear. A woman's nervous system can sense that effort. It may not feel dangerous, but it feels uncertain. And uncertainty often translates into distrust or emotional distance. This is where emotional alignment becomes important. When your words match your true character, something shifts. When what you say lines up with how you feel and who you are, the energy becomes calm, it becomes grounded. That is when attraction begins to grow naturally instead of being forced or chased. Before I share these two powerful words, take a moment. If this already made you think differently, that is a good sign. It means you are ready to understand connection on a deeper level. Now let's talk about the first word. The first word is interesting, but it must be used the right way. Do not throw it out as an empty compliment. Do not use it just to avoid silence. Use it with intention. Imagine she shares an opinion you do not fully agree with. Many men either agree quickly to avoid tension or change the topic back to themselves. Both reactions reveal insecurity. They show fear of discomfort or disagreement. A grounded man responds differently. He pauses. He keeps steady eye contact. He stays calm. Then he says, "That's interesting. Tell me more about that." Simple words, strong effect. Why does this work? Because it sends 3 quiet signals at the same time and she feels them instantly. First, you are not threatened by her view. Second, you have your own center and can hold both ideas at once. Third, you are truly present. You are listening. Real curiosity creates emotional connection. Studies show that when someone feels deeply heard, the brain releases bonding chemicals. She begins to connect that warm feeling with you. Most men try to impress. The magnetic man chooses to be interested instead. That difference changes everything. Now let's move to the second word. You may not expect this one. The second word is no, not harsh, not cold, just calm and clear. No without apology. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a man say no to someone he found attractive without explaining himself for 5 minutes? Many men become overly agreeable when they feel drawn to someone. They say yes to everything. They shift plans, they adjust opinions, they bend their values. That does not build attraction, it weakens it. Attraction responds to stability. When you calmly say no to something that does not work for you, you send a rare message. You do not need approval to feel secure. This is called non-reactive confidence. It shows strength without aggression. It shows peace without submission. It communicates self-respect. I once worked with a man in his early 50s. He was not wealthy, he was not flashy, but he moved through life with quiet steadiness. A younger woman once asked him to cancel important plans for her last-minute idea. He smiled and said, "No, this weekend is not available, let's plan next week." She tested him again. He stayed calm. He did not argue. He did not justify himself. He simply repeated that this weekend did not work. Instead of feeling rejected, she felt respect. A man who can hold his ground gently is a man who feels safe. Safe does not mean boring. Safe means reliable. These two words, interesting and no, are not tricks. They are reflections of inner security. Interesting shows you are strong enough to stay curious. No shows you are strong enough to protect your boundaries. Together they create what many women describe as true authenticity. You do not need to wait years to develop this. Start small. In your next conversation, practice real curiosity, ask deeper questions, listen without planning your next sentence, and in daily life, practice calm boundaries. Say no to small things without over-explaining. Boundaries are not barriers, they are structure. If this changed the way you think about connection, take a moment to reflect. Which word do you need to practice more right now? Interesting or no, growth begins with awareness.